ฮัลโหลฮัลโหลเลยสวัสดีครับพาร์ท34กันแล้วพาร์ทนี้น่าจะเป็นพาร์ทสุดท้ายในเกาะนี้เร็วอยู่นะเนี่ยถ้า4เกาะก็ประมาณ70พาร์ทแล้วกันเพราะบางพาร์ทผมลงไป2 ชั่วโมงก็เลยน้อยลงนั่นเองดูที่นี่กันเลยครับที่สุดท้ายที่นึกออกนะไม่แน่ใจมีที่อื่นอีกไหมตรงนี้ผมไม่ลุยนี่ว่าตรงนี้ตรงนี้มีปริศนาธรรมใช่ไหมยังไงช่วยด้วยข้าอยู่ในมันรู้ได้ไงวะเป็นกองใบไม้กองหญ้าช่วยขุดข้าขึ้นไปน้อยเจ้าเป็นใครข้าเคยเป็นใครวะเนี่ยI think ข้าเป็นนักคิดหรอ Obvious you เหมือนเจ้าไม่เคยรู้เลยไม่มีวันจะรู้โอเคแต่จะทำอะไรแปลกๆล่ะไม่ถึงห่วงนั้นไม่มีอะไรฟังข้าไม่ตลกมุกเนาะแกมุกเนาะตัวมันแน่นหนาช่วยขุดหน่อยเหรอจ้ามานี่มา
The skeleton tries to brush the dirt from his clattering bones, then frowns. The moistest bits are still stuck in his cracks and crevices.
คอแครก
Thanks. You're probably looking for a reward.
เจ้าคงขอรางวัลสินะไม่ขอหรอก
Except, you know, the wisdom of the age.
ข้ามีความรู้นะเอาไหม
He pokes a finger against his ossified head.
Ossify แปลว่าอะไรไม่ฉลาดเลย
I'm a bit of a philosopher, you see.
ข้าเป็นนักปรัชญานะ
Not much else to be, what with all that thinking time.
ดูไม่เหมือนหรอกแต่ว่า What with all that thinking time ไม่เหมือนฟิโลโซเฟอร์นะ
Are you questioning my intellect?
นี่จะลองแสดงความรู้
You
ปราด
think
เปรื่อง
you say more sooth than me, a verified soothsayer.
นี่เจ้าพูดดีเหรอแต่ข้านะ verify เลยนะ
The skeleton pauses and sighs, then straightens his spine with a clatter.
A soul bond will settle it. A battle
Soul bond.
of wits. Then the cosmos itself
งานดว
will
ล
decide
ความ
who
ฉลาด
better face the truth of our own essence, me or you. A weak soul may not survive the bond.
ถ้าเจ้าไม่ฉลาดพอแล้วก็จะไม่รอด
I'm sure you'll be just fine.
ข้าคิดว่าเจ้าคงจะฉลาดพอนะมันทำให้เจ้าเป็นอะไรไปดูปะเนี่ย
Battle is dangerous, is it not?
มันอันตรายแหละเนาะ
I find it to be true anyway, even when you're battling your own mortality. The angst can prove terminal to the weak-willed.
แต่ก็พิสูจน์ความปรารถนาที่อ่อนแรงมันคืออะไรอ่ะ
Oh, it's easy.
ง่ายมากเลยอ่ะ
We link up souls and share our innermost beliefs.
แชร์ลิงก์โซ
Think of
เชื่อม
it
ต่อ
like
วิญญาณ
an innocent little duel. The winner remains comfortable with their personal truths. The loser,
แปลไม่ถูกคน
well,
แต่คนที่แพ้แล้วก็ได้มาดิ
oh, how fun.
เฮ้ยน่าส
Just
นุก
touch this bone on my rib cage here.
แต่กระดูก
Right
ข้าตรง
over
นี้สิ
where my heart would be if, well,
ตรงหัวใจเลยนะ
you know.
ตรงนี้แหละ
You reach for the rib in question, but nothing feels
ก็ไม่
different.
เห็นมีอะไรแปล
Not
ก
until
ๆเปลี่
you
ยนแปลง
try to pull your finger away and it remains glued to the bone.
ติดกระดูกชิบ
All
หาย
right, mister. Deep thought.
Deep thought with the deep
First up, our purpose in
เป้า
life.
หมายในชีวิตของเรานะ
I say it's to accumulate
ก็
knowledge.
คือตามหาความรู้ไงล่ะ
Pretty great answer.
ตอบดีไหมอ่ะ
Can you do better than that?
เจ้าทำได้ดีกว่านั้นไหม
His jaws clack together in a show of self-assurance.
มากกว่าความรู้เหรอขอ CISP ขอเปิดสูตรนะครับ มากกว่าความรู้เหรออะไรอ่ะเราจะมองอะไรมีค่ามากน้อยแค่ไหน อ แล้วแต่มุมมองอะแต่ว่ามันก็ตัดสินไม่ได้แล้วด้วยตัวเราเองหรอกอ๋อคือเราแบบสามารถไปอ่านได้นะครับมันมีหนังสืออยู่ในบ้านของใครวะที่เราฆ่าไปอะLiger Mansions ไม่มี S อะ Mansion ก็คือต้องใช้เฟนตอบคำถามได้หมดเลยนะฮะแต่ชิบหายแล้วกูใช้ตัวนี้ถ้าผมก็อ่านหมดแล้วนะคือเราก็ไม่รู้จะตอบอันไหนดีอ่ะโอเคเดี๋ยวค่อยใช้เฟนแล้วกันเอาบาบัดเรียนไปก่อน
A shattering shiver passes through the skeleton's body.
The cosmos agrees with you.
คอสโมเห็นด้วยกับเจ้า
Could it be, I don't know my own meaning? This emptiness,
ความว่างเปล่า
no
นี่
matter. Surely
โอ้
you
ยเจ้ามา
can't
ชนะ
test
ข้าหรอก
me again. I say no. The god
There
เอานิ้วออก
seems
ได้
to
ไหม
be no escaping this weird bond, short of breaking off your own finger.
ข้าทำไงก็ได้ตามที่ข้าต้องการ
You are immobilized by fear, fear of the unknown, fear of nothing, fear of everything.
fear
It aches, as if the
Oh, the strapping dwarfs is weak. I hate to ask another question, but the bond demands it. Sorry and all that. So tell me,
อะไรมัน
is
แตก
there
ต่าง
a
ระหว่าง
difference between right and wrong?
ถูกและผิด
Don't hurt yourself now. I know how trying this must be for you.
The harder you yank, the tighter the bond grows. You feel the bond break between it out, rips through your mind, soul.
Such a pity.
โอ้น่าสงสารจังไม่เป็นไรครับอย่าให้เฟนตอบครับเฟนชนะแน่นอนคือต้องไปอ่านหนังสือก่อนซึ่งผมว่าผมอ่านแล้วนะหนังสือในบ้านไลเกอร์อะแต่ไม่รู้เล่มไหนจำไม่ได้จริงๆไม่เล่มไหนเอาเฟนแล้วกันเฟนฉลาด
Do you ever meet a true philosopher?
ก็เคยเจอนักปรัชญาตัวจริงไหม
He pokes a finger against his ossicles.
You found one right here. Spent centuries buried under the dirt. What with all? Are you questioning?
The skeleton.
Skin your eye เราไม่มีตาไอ้บ้า
But I'm sure you'll be just fine.
ตามมา
Battle
เดิ
is
มเลย
dangerous, is it not? Oh, it's he, the loser. Well,
มาเลยมาเลย
You reach for
all right, mister.
his jaws clack together in a show of self-assurance.
เราสามารถตอบอันเดได้ทุกข้อครับ Do your empty skull contain brains How deep could your thought be กระโหลกเจ้าไม่มีสมองแต่เจ้าจะคิดลึกไปได้ถึงไหนว้าว deep
A shattering shiver passes through the skeleton.
Well, that.
ไปคำถามต่อไปก็ได้
Tell me, Sammy Smarty Pants. Is there such thing as free will?
มีอะไรที่แบบเป็นอิสระกับเราจริงๆไหมอ่ะแบบ free will แบบ maker
I say no.
คำว่าใหม่
gods
อ่ะ
guide our every move.
พระเจ้าแบบนำทางเราทุกก้าวเลยอ่ะนายเจ้าลองทำให้ข้าคิดผิดสิ ข้าสงสัยมากกว่าว่าพวกเราสองคนเนี่ยคุยยังไงโดยที่ไม่มีเส้นเสียงกล่องเสียงน่ะ Guide our every move ก็คือแต่มันมาไกด์เราได้ไง
Oh gods, I
โอ้โห
can hardly bear
โอ้
to.
โหจริงด้วย ไม่นะ
I need to get a hold of myself.
เอาไม่ทางสติ
The skeleton hangs his head low, then yanks it upwards again.
One last query.
คำถามสุดท้าย
Is there a difference between right
มีอะไรแตกต่างกันระหว่างถูกและผิด
that there is
มัน
not
ไม่มีเลยอ่ะ
only action and
มี
consequence?
แค่การกระทำและผลลัพธ์เท่านั้นเอง
I got you
อ่ะ
there.
ถูกไหมเจ้าโดดเขาเสร็จขาดละบางอย่างที่มันดูผิดก็คือพวกเราขยับได้โดยที่ไม่มีเอ็นและกล้ามเนื้อน่ะถ้าเราตอบสกอร์ได้ไหมได้ State that every culture to history that has established its own code of ethics within those codes right and wrong are strongly defined อ๋อก็คือแต่ละวัฒนธรรมมันมีกำหนดมาแล้วถูกหรือผิดก็คือมีแบบจริยธรรมของตัวเองก็ถูกในแนวแบบเชิงนั้นนะตอบเดดีกว่า
You feel the bond break between your finger and the skeleton. You pull your hand quickly back to your side.
อุ้ยดึงมือกลับมาได้แล้วไม่
Bear this.
อะไรเจ้านี่ตัวทีข้าเก่งกว่าอ้าวนี่เป็นแมสคอป explosions แค่ให้สกิลโอเคไปละคือเราต้องอ่านหนังสือในบ้านของไลเกอร์ให้หมดนะครับซึ่งผมว่าผมอ่านแล้วนะทำไมเหมือนไม่อ่านงงแฮผมกดตะพันได้ด้วยเหรออะไรอ่ะ
The roots of a great ancestor tree reach from deep underground to the surface above and beyond. But this tree
ต้นไม้นี่มันดูแบบ
feels tainted.
ปนเปื้อนอะไรดูความทรงจำหน่อย
You
สิ
are a scion of the elves.
เอาเป็น
The
ไซออน
tree
เลย
demands your blood. You do not have a
ทีมาเดอ
choice.
ร์ต้องการเลือด
She
ของ
has
ท่าน
a plan, and you must serve her
ไม่
with
มี
your death. You heed your mother's wishes and take root.
อ๋อก็คือต้องยอมตายเลยเพื่อ mother tree the mother
But
tree
then you hear a voice,
มีเสียง
a friendly whisper from
ตีเสียง
beyond.
กระซิบ
The voice knows you. He understands you.
เขาเข้าใจเหรอ
He
เขา
loves
รักเรา
He offers you your freedom
ให้อิสละด้วย
and asks but one small service in
แค่ต้อ
return.
งservice ก็คือรับใช้นิดหน่อยเองโอเค
Grateful, you accept.
โอ้โหเรา
In
ยอ
an
มรับ
instant, you are an elf once more,
เรากลายเป็นเอล
walking
ครั้ง
in
นึง
the world.
ว้าว
But your new friend begins to make demands. Small services, then larger and more often.
ตอนแรกก็ขอ
cause
นิด
you
เซอร์วิส
pain.
แค่นิดหน่อยแล้วพักใหญ่ขึ้นจนเราแบบอ๋อเจ็บปวดโอเคแย่แล้วทำไมไม่เชื่อมาเถอะ
At last, he bids you guard your tree. He expects you shall have guests. You shall kill the Godwoken when they come. Then you shall be free.
อ๋อสุดท้ายละก็กลายเป็นต้นไม้อยู่ดีโหทำไมไม่เชื่อ mother ทีนี่อ่ะแต่หรือไม่เชื่อใครเลยก็ได้ครับจะได้มีสละคุยกันหน่อย
The thought occurs. The sign replaced one bad deal with another.
สุดท้ายก็ไปเอาดีลแย่กับแย่ขอได้พักเถอะที่จัดไปใช่ทุกคนมีตาสินชะตาตัวเองได้ใช่ไหม
That story hits a little too close to home. Poor luckless
โอ้
fool.
ยไม่มีโชคเลยนะไอ้โง่
To trade one's soul for immortality and then lose out on your prize? That is unfortunate, no matter the circumstances.
Desperation leads to stupidity.
ความสิ้นหวังนำไปสู่ความโง่ในทั้งหมดก็คือก็โง่หมดนั่นแหละ มาเลยมันอยู่ในนี้ครับเราลงไปอ้าวเราลงไปยังไงอ๋อต้องกดนี่ปะอุ้ยอะไร
An undead elf steps from the shadows.
What?
He looks powerful, but when he speaks, he is in pain.
อ๋อนี่ไงคนนี้พูดแล้วเจ็บปวด
Welcome, Godwoken.
มาเลยก่อนมาเข็นมาถึงรวมศพของเจ้าเจ้าต้องเน่าตายที่นี่เจ้าก็จะโดนเช่นกันเจ้าทำอะไรข้าไว้ได้ดอกตื่นขึ้นกองทัพเน่าเปื่อยของข้าอ๋อเอาเวล11ตีแรงคลิปหายเลยอ้าวแล้วผมมาคนเดียวคืออะไรบริการหมดนี่แหละมาเลยทำอะไรเพื่อนเราเจ้าต้นไม้ต่อไปตาใครตัวนู้นเหรอผมหนีขึ้นไปเลยไม่น่าได้ต้องฆ่าก่อนแน่เลยดีเลย์เทิร์นไว้ก่อนมึงเล่นก่อนเลยเอ้ยมึงยิงกระโลกสารยำยิงเล็งกระโลกเฉยเลยไอ้นี่มึงมึงขึ้นได้ด้วยมึงนะมึงนี่นะไอ้กาวามโดนแน่ขึ้นเลยยิงกันลอกเฉยมึงโดนแน่ๆกาลานโดนแน่ๆล่ะพูดเลยนะโดนแน่ๆล่ะโอ้ย4 point เลยเหรอแกอันนี้ไปกินกันแล้วกันดูดิเดินถึงไหนบัฟฟืผมไปซัดมันแล้วผมบินไปได้ไหมไม่ถึง interrupted ติดอีกอย่างนอติดต้นไม้โอเคงั้นเรากระโดดกันละผมก็บินขึ้นไปเอาบัฟไอ้เจ้าหมอนี่คันเป็นแชมเปี้ยน
Be on your way now, my dear. Perhaps we'll have matters to discuss again later.
Captain, good to see you again. Of course. Told you I would, didn't I? Up to you.
Aren't you supposed to be off learning how to become the divine and whatnot?
Her eyes flash with something. Anger, perhaps, or fear.
But never mind. We better focus on the task at hand.
She looks straight ahead, ignoring you.
Well, aren't you industrious? It seems all the riffraff's back aboard as well. Ready to set sail when you are, Your Holiness. Fantastic. Now, on to the interesting part.
After many adventures, the party finally reached the place where Godwo can go to become divine. But more surprises and difficult choices awaited.
Here we are, the nameless isle. And here I thought Malady was unimaginative. Still, it's what's on the inside that counts, isn't that? And this is the place you're meant to become a god. I can't help but wonder exactly what you intend to do with such a power. I have no doubt about that. But do remember, you can do what's good for you, too. All things in balance, you know. You'll want to hurry now. Divinity is waiting, after all. Excellent question. Normally, this place ought only to be known to Godwoken, but judging by the ships burning in the bay, there's been a breach, let's call it. Regardless of who's on the island, all that matters is who ascends. Make sure that's you. The strongest will survive and ascend. I'm hardly an expert on the matter, but I'm smart enough to put 2 and 2 together. Where there is an ocean of source, there is a well for drawing from it. To rise to divinity, you probably need to take a gulp, though I'm sure it won't be that simple.
The squirrel guides its cat. The wood is covered.
There's no time to waste. My, what a query to ask so out of the blue. Still, why not? I suppose some stories were always meant to be told. So, here goes. No, hang on.
She retrieves a small flask from her backpack, uncorks it, and takes a big swig. Tears stream from her eyes as she offers you the flask.
They're tears of joy, I assure you. Here, have some joy.
You drink. It burns. Soon the tears run down your cheeks as well.
Not bad, is it? So good it has us crying like babies. Now then, the epic of The Master and the Scar. Sounds like a melodramatic opera. There was, of course, some singing involved. It began when I woke in the dark room. He removed my blindfold, and still I did not see. He himself was darker than any shadow, but I could hear him give orders to another. Stingtail. How he came to regret the actions he performed that day. The master bid the dream a dream, and so he did. He sat there. I could feel his hands upon my cheeks. He trembled, as if in pain. I didn't know what was going on until quite suddenly, his right hand became a flame. I screamed as he traced the design of the scar into my searing flesh, but I could not move, not an inch. And all the while, the master looked on in darkest silence. Oh, like all good things in life, one has to experience these things firsthand. So, once the scarring was over, and the pain began to fade, the training began. With words, whistles, snaps of the fingers even, the master could make me obey his every command. Young, strong, smart. You know I don't exactly lack in qualities. It didn't take him long to train me in the arts of stealth, subterfuge, and assassination. It shakes me little now. All too little. But that first time, that first real kill, it was such stuff as nightmares are made on. I had now lived in the dark for what might as well have been years. I was in a wood, but the trees there were sick, grey, leafless hydras sticking out of ashen earth. There were no stars that night. She sat shivering beside a fire. I was nervous. I had to chase her. My hand hated itself, tried to resist, but There is no resisting the master's song. My stabs weren't as mercifully exact as they should have been. I had to bring down the needle again and again as her screams flooded the forest with terror. When it was done, I crawled back to the master, broken, crept back into the box, and through its cold black lid, he told me I had done well. Next time, I'd do better. You understand me completely. With the needle, I'll kill him. And with the needle, I'll strike his name from my skin. The bastard will be master no longer. Ah, yes. I am the Prime Scion. A revelation that came quite out of the blue, which is somewhat ironic, considering I'm supposed to be my people's foremost memory keeper. Quite slipped my mind, though. A slave scar will do that to a girl. To be frank, it exasperates.
She looks down, an uncharacteristic cast of melancholy passing over.
Gods, I was so... Imagine it. To sit enthroned under a vast forest canopy. To look down upon a crowd of thousands, their bodies aglow with countless rays of golden light falling through the leaves. You hear their voices as one. One mind, one thought, and it's your name they incant, as if the word itself were magic. Sabil. They said it like I was the cornerstone of their existence. Isn't that silly? I didn't even know myself. Good question. It's a very lonely thing indeed to be the object of a people's worship. What is revered is feared at the same time.
She absent-mindedly fingers her needle.
I used to love poetry. I used to love wandering the forests for days on end. I'd swim in the rivers and forget to dress after. It was fine. I was alone. I'd bask in the sun, sleep nestled among bear cubs. Nothing out there would harm me. But always, they would find me, the scions. Always the mother tree would call me back, for one day I'd be free no longer. One day my legs would be roots. To wander would be but one lone memory among millions. Clearly not. Though I must admit that even to sit on that throne amid that eerie crowd, destined to become leaf and bark, was not so dreadful a prospect as what came next. When I decided to run away from the mother tree with only the moon for my guide, it was a terrible journey. Soft-leafed branches became vicious like whips. Moss-bedecked rocks became sharp like the stone axes of old. I grew weary. I was bleeding, in pain, and how I gasped when for the first time an animal eyed me with malice and growled. That is when I heard them. The whispers and the taunts, the low howls of men. The snare cut so deep. The blindfold, it made me panic. The dark,
Somewhat to your surprise, Sabine doesn't recoil, but allows you to hug her.
Thank you. That very first moment of darkness. I've never been so scared ever since. Then there was the stench of those men. The burn of the ropes, the jeers and the kicks. Until the dark went silent. Even those barbarians didn't dare speak in the presence of the Master. But I'll not speak of him and his methods. Not now, anyway. If ever. The very best.
She cocks her head ever so slightly, and I...
Why? Don't tell me you disagree.
And I...
Why? Don't tell me you disagree. Thank you. I quite agree, and I'm sure I'll have mercy on you when I'm a goddess. You, but a mortal at my feet. In all seriousness, though, the prospect both tickles and terrifies me. I mean, divinity. Will it be a blessing or a burden? Would we be truly omnipotent, or merely the servants of an unruly universe, as desperate for control as we are now? And then there's the question that makes me shiver most of all. Would we still be ourselves? Would I remain Sabine, or would my mortal soul die upon gaining divine immortality? Take the plunge and don't look back, huh? As good a plan as any, I presume.
She sighs and closes her eyes, then smiles her easy smile.
Such a silly game we play, to be a god. It's quite wasted on mortals, if you ask me. We are all of us too blemished to become immaculate.
Sabine slides her hand in yours, makes your heart skip a beat with her particularly coquettish smile.
I've something I need to tell you.
She scrapes her throat, hesitates, almost as if she's a bit...
I'm afraid you're going to accuse me of killing the mood, but the thing is, I need to talk to you about the Master. No, not anymore, or so I hope. My dear, sweet Marcus, I've grown to trust you, more than I've trusted anyone since I've had names on my skin. Wasn't easy, I know. Come, sit down with me for a moment.
You both sit down, cross-legged, knees to knees, hand in hand. Suddenly, a melody. Sabine sings a song, haunting in its simplicity. She uses no words, sounds rather. It's beautiful, yet somehow menacing.
This is my scar song. It's all the Master needs to make me his slave once more, unless your voice opposes his. I will soon confront him, with you by my side. My life and my liberty I place in these soft, strong hands of yours. Will you sing? Good answer.
Her cat's eyes close as she leans in for a kiss. You kiss. It's sweet and wonderful. You wish it could last forever.
My word.
You both get up and smile to one another warmly. When you hear a sound in the distance and turn to look, Sabine pats you affectionately on the bottom.
Adventure calls, but I say we do this again sometime.
Well, this place is welcoming, isn't it?
Ifan raises an eyebrow and folds his arms, looking every inch the man you'd hate to run into in a dark alley at night.
Of course I'm afraid of things. Heights, the dark, even spiders, truth be told. I just do things anyway. The fear doesn't go away, but my body is used to the rush by now. Keep going long enough and, well, the intensity is how you know you're alive. I saw the mass death caused by the Divine Order's war firsthand. If Divinity can do the opposite of that, I'm interested. And if it can't, what good is it? The gods may be dead, but we still live. That should mean something.
Ifan shrugs and turns to survey the environment.
I think we should find out what it is.
Ifan smirks and shakes his head.
I'll spare you the tall tales we usually tell. When a new cub joins up with the lone wolves, we interrogate them. Then, a very complex equation decides their new moniker. I don't remember all the questions, but I remember enough to give you a lone wolf name if you want one. So tell me this, which of these scenes attracts you the most?
Ifan nods and raises his eyebrows.
And then, target in sight? What's your preferred execution method? Right.
Ifan scrawls something on a little piece of paper, and on the page in thick black letters is written Coal Claw.
Not as pant-wettingly fearsome as Silverclaw, but not bad. Not bad at all. An old lone wolf colleague of mine in disguise, Callow. He's hunting Godwoken, but don't worry. I didn't tell him our little secret. Poor fellow'd have an attack of the bloody flux if he knew what was really going on.
Ifan bites his lip and laughs.
That'll be tough for you to say without any teeth. But be my guest. Give it a whirl.
He shrugs. His face is a bland mask.
You do things your way. I'll do them mine. Don't worry. I'm not going to hand you in for the bounty. Sure, you could do the very same to me. I think we should know who hunts us and why. Just play it cool. We go in, we get answers, we leave.
From the glint in his eye,
All right? It has the potential to get messy. Very...
Ifan claps you on the shoulder.
Well, this all looks familiar.
The skeleton stands quietly.
I'm not sure. Centuries in a tomb can warp one's memory. I remember the big things, of course. My library, my home, my king. But the rest, it's all covered in a fog. And the more I see of this world, the thicker that fog seems to get. I was a scholar, researching the secrets of the universe. Had I been allowed to proceed, my people could have ascended to godhood as one. An entire race of deities, with a perfect understanding of the universe. It would have solved all of our problems. Once I would have boasted that it was the best form of government. Indeed, it was the only form of government we knew. Living forever under the rule of a wise king is one thing, but if that king should turn into a despot... If he should reject philosophy and the natural arts for the sake of power, well, I cannot imagine a worse torture. Indeed you cannot. Nothing in this world compares to it. We crafted our homes from stone and crystal, using the power of the universe itself to keep them in place. Your people, on the other hand, seem quite content to sit about in smoky hovels, held together by straw and filth. It's a mercy I don't have a nose. I cannot imagine how you stand it. They came rather low in my life. My wife and daughter always had to compete with my work for my attention, and my work was always stiff competition. They were often neglected. I wonder how many more years they spent neglected before, well, before whatever happened, happened.
Gareth greets you warmly. He's oddly chipper. More chipper than you've ever seen him, and certainly more chipper than most people mourning dead loved ones.
I should thank you. I don't know what came over me. Praise Lucian, I had you to put me on the right track. Not bad. Took some time to think. My parents led good lives. I'd rather celebrate them for the love they gave me than to wail over their loss. Besides, we have work to do. Once we anchor at the Nameless Isle, I'll scout ahead, see if I can help locate the council and ease the way. I'll report to you on what I find. Nonsense. I just had to take time to renew my spirit. Lucian said, I will refresh the tired and satisfy the weary. Words as true today as when he said them.
Gareth offers his farewell.
We disembark soon. I'll set out first and see what information I might find to ease your journey.
Hello. This island is something else, huh? I'll bet I can find... Up to you. Captain, good to see you again. Sure thing.
Tread carefully, my dear. Those are black ring banners that I spy on the shore. I studied the tap. See those structures further inland? Remarkable. Also... Something on your mind, darling?
Third warriors for hire, seasoned in combat. They won't let you down. but you can't put a price on the glory they'll win.
Something on your mind, darling?
Almira doesn't respond right away. Instead, she
I sense a familiar presence. The Sallow Man. Yes. He's there somewhere. Likely commanding Black Ring forces. You should seek him out. He's a foul creature, but not opposed to cutting a deal. Beware his underlings, though. If they challenge your presence, pose as a thrall of mine, and you should gain safe passage. My name should still command respect among them.
Whatever type of companion you need, I can provide. Expert warriors for hire.
Something on your mind, darling?
Quite a journey I've found myself on with you. Is this where it ends, I wonder?
No one's ever regretted having extra help in a fight. Guaranteed that.
Dangers indeed. You can almost hear the sounds of battle when the wind shifts correctly. And where there's battle, there's bound to be mercenaries. Gleku Duma, the words of the lone wolves. No doubt my former comrades will have them in their employ. Speak their words, and you might pass. Speak their words, and you might pass. Consider it a token of my thanks for the assistance in retrieving anathema. Pursuit of my interests has led me to fall in with some disreputable company in my time. I know, not something to be proud of, but they let me do as I wished, so desperate they were for aid after the death fog cut them down to size. A fine arrangement, until they started preaching about this God King and his infernal covenant.
He snorts.
The last thing this world needs is another would-be god, and an army of fools willing to follow him. It's a sop to all the fools who think that someone will grant them power and immortality in return for loyalty. This God King has caused to make war with the Seven, and the Covenant is how he's gathered his army. They become sworn, as it was put to me, bound to serve, die, and be reborn for the God King for as long as he wishes. Then, at some ill-defined point in the future, they think they'll be rewarded. You should have seen them all, on their knees worshipping a new tyrant just to spite 7 old ones. I got away from them while I still could. Unfortunately, Dallas was waiting to snatch me. There's a clue in the name. He's a god, or something that wants to be a god. Continue to march to the Seven's Beat, and I'm sure you'll find out exactly what he is. They're all the same, you know. Tyrants, liars, carrion birds. The best thing would be for them all to destroy it. You know why. A time is coming when you're going to need me, and I won't be much use to you if I'm performing self-service. Besides, it doesn't matter if you don't let it matter. Black Ring, Divine Order, all labels try to define who we are. As soon as a skin is... My efforts continue. I must admit it's quite an intricate piece to work with, even for someone like myself.
Expert warriors for hire, all seasoned in combat. They won't let you down. Ever regretted having extra help in the fight.
Corbin, the Fletcher you rescued from Roost...
Oh, yeah? Oh, I mean, hey, how are you? All settled in myself? Can't tell you how glad I am to be here. And thank you for bringing me. I feel it, you know? I really do. By all means,